G'day, Brennan here with the Cargo Bike crew, and today we're looking at the TEBCO Pioneer. So this is a Delta trike, Delta style trike with one wheel at the front, two wheels at the back, and it's in a pretty popular configuration with the 20-inch wheels all round and a folding frame in the middle to make it easier to store and transport. So let's get into it. Alright, the Electric Bicycle Company, or TEBCO, was one of the very first e-bike businesses in Australia. Back in 1999, they imported one of the very first commercial shipments of e-bikes into Australia. It was this one here. It featured lead-acid 24-volt battery, big halogen headlight up the front like a motorbike, and a friction drive rear motor. So as you can see, e-bike technology has really come a long way in the last 25 to 30 years. TEBCO designed their bikes for the Australian market. They have suppliers in China who manufacture the frames and assemble bikes to spec, so what you see here is specific to TEBCO. In Melbourne, they have a head office with a full showroom with all of their bikes. They have a big workshop as well, heaps of spare parts so they can service local riders, but they also provide full technical support to dealers around Australia to keep riders rolling wherever they are. Here's a look at another one of their trikes, the Transporter. Now this one's got 24-inch wheels. It's been a mainstay in the TEBCO lineup for many, many years, and I've definitely seen heaps of these as I've been around Australia and Victoria, cities and towns everywhere. You see heaps of riders on these ones. Full disclosure, this review contains our own unbiased opinions. We're not being paid for this review. We contacted TEBCO and they were more than happy to provide a test bike for us for this review. The Pioneer is priced at a very reasonable $3,499 Australian dollars, but it's not short on features. You get a 2-year frame warranty and 1-year warranty on parts, and it's a single-seater cargo trike, so you've got the cargo box at the back. It's not designed for passengers. The length is 183 centimeters and the width is 72 centimeters, and you can also fold it down like I said. So handlebars come down like this. And then undo the frame lock, and this spins around here. So this is pretty good when you're putting it away. Oh, you can put the seat post down as well, make it a bit lower. So yeah, when you're storing it away, maybe in your shed or in the garage, or trying to put it in the back of a car to transport it, it'll probably fit in the back of a medium SUV or a station wagon, definitely fit in the back of a ute. Yeah, I'll put the measurements on the screen here so you can see if it fits, and then simply bring it back up like that. Handlebars. Here we go. So the frame here is made out of aluminium. It's approximately 39 kilos total weight, including the battery, and the maximum load capacity is about 100 kilos. You've got on the back this cargo tray, so it's about 45 centimeters by 45 centimeters and maybe 25 centimeters high. It does come with this nice insulated shopping bag on the back, or you can probably fit your own bags back here. So you can probably fit 4 shopping bags back there. Frame sizing, you've got a maximum height of 102 centimeters down to a minimum height of 80 centimeters. So that height range is approximately, I'd say 155 centimeters to 185 centimeters, depending on your leg length. It's quite a short reach, so it's really compact. You're sitting quite upright. This is me, I'm 178 centimeters tall. This is my sort of riding position, and it's really comfy. Got a nice cushioned saddle back here, so in that upright position, you're not gonna get a sore bum when you're riding along. Up front here, it's very much like a 2-wheeled bike. You've got standard steering, you've got a suspension fork here with approximately 40 millimeters of travel, so that's going to be good when you're on the gravel trails or on the road, or soak up bumps and potholes and things like that. It's not really meant for off-road use. On the back end here is the dedicated trike frame. So you've got the cargo basket that's mounted on top of this frame, which has the axle and a differential for better handling. All right, back here, the Pioneer is spec'd with a 250 watt motor from Sutto. They're a sub-brand of Bafang, who are a pretty big name in the e-bike industry. That drives pretty much like a hub motor. So you've got the drivetrain before the motor, which normally would go to a wheel, runs to the differential, and then the differential runs the two back wheels. And then on the back of the seat tube here, you've got a 468 watt-hour battery. That's good for approximately 60 kilometers of range at 1-to-1 pedal assist. We'll see how it goes in our range test later. The e-bike control system is by Magene. They're a bit of a newcomer to the e-bike space, but they're really well known for road bikers. They make high performance, but really affordable power meters, GPS computers, rear radars, and carbon fiber wheels. What you get on this bike is the big color screen up front with heaps of information, nice and clear. It's fitted with a torque sensor. The torque sensor makes it have a really nice natural feel under power, and it also detects changes in your pedal stroke really quickly. It's fitted with electronic shifting, so you've got your shift buttons up here, and it's got a throttle mounted on the side to help you from a standstill. The throttle works up to 6 kilometers an hour. Underneath the frame here, just behind the cranks, you've got the electronic shifter. That means there's no shift cables running through the frame, so when you're folding and unfolding the bike, your shifting won't go out of adjustment. That shifter is connected to a Shimano Tourney derailleur, and that's running on a 7-speed cassette. So because you've got the drivetrain before the hub motor, you're not going to be getting that huge amount of power running through the drivetrain, so this is going to be a pretty durable setup. Up front here, you've got some unbranded mechanical disc brake calipers, and they're fitted onto 180mm rotors. It just keeps things nice and affordable and simple, and really easy to maintain when you're out on the road. The tyres are by Innova. They're 20 by 2.25 inches wide, so really nice and chunky, gives you a bit more shock absorption in the back end with no suspension. They're a typical urban tread, no real off-road knobs, but it's quite a nice, supple and grippy feeling tyre, so I think it'll work really well out there on even gravel trails. And just to round it out, you've got full mud guards front and rear. You've got a chain guard as well. Those are going to keep you nice and clean and dry if you're out in the weather. You've got front headlight here. This is a really nice headlight. It's got a cut-off profile and it's nice and bright. Here in Melbourne, it's coming into winter, so it's getting dark at 5:30. This is really nice light. And on the back, there's a solid brake light. The brake light is linked to the levers as well, so when you're rolling in traffic or rolling with other riders, pull on the brakes, the rear light's going to get brighter. Even if you've got the lights running, it's like a tail light and brake light in one, so it's really nice. Alrighty, let's go take this for a spin. All right, like I said, it's the start of winter here in Melbourne. It's 1st of June. We have 17 degrees and sunny weather. I'm in t-shirt. It was 3 degrees this morning, so I'm not complaining. Beautiful weather. I've put about 20 kilos in the rear basket just to simulate carrying a bit of a load. Nice thing about these Delta configuration trikes is that you can sort of load up the back as high as you want, and you're not going to obstruct the rider's vision. Maybe not on this type, but not on this trike, but you see Australia Post, their new trikes got a big box on the back, so you can carry heaps of letters and parcels. So it's really good for those sorts of delivery or courier situations. Riding along, it feels really compact. So all you can see is your front wheel down here, so it looks like a regular bike. You just got to be mindful of your back wheels as well, how wide you are when you're going past obstacles. All right, cruising along here, 20 k's an hour, really relaxed, smooth over those bumps. Yeah, the back end's not really harsh at all, really solid. Yeah, even though it's no suspension on the back, no rattles or anything like that, they're really nicely built. You can see I'm on this cambered piece of road here, and I have to lean my body to keep upright. There's still a little bit of steering effort required, so steering to keep you straight, and then we're back on this flat piece of road and it's a bit easier to ride. So on the speed bump, not too much of an issue, just need to be aware of that when you're riding along slopes. It's pretty stable still. Alright, it's got the typical feel of a small wheeled bike, so really sharp handling, nice and zippy acceleration, and one really nice thing is that it has a small turning circle, so I can probably show you this up here. We'll have a look when the path gets a bit tighter. Alright, I'll show you here at the secure bike parking. Normal U-turn just like that. Really nice. Don't even have to put a foot down, get off the bike. Alright, as we head back, shift through the gears, really quick to respond on this Magene control system. There's a little button on the back. You can just cycle through Eco, Tour, Turbo, turn it off, back on auto. I've been pretty much leaving it on auto the whole time and it's been really, really good. So the torque sensor, really nice. This way. Around the corner, yeah, torque sensor gives you really nice, as you come out of the corner like that, push on the pedals a little bit harder, it just gives you a nice boost. And it's really nothing like a hub motor with a cadence sensor. So it's, yeah, really nice and natural as you're riding along. It's a pretty quiet motor when you're cruising along. 25 k's an hour here. Not needing to put in too much effort myself. But yeah, only when you're pushing it up a hill the motor gets a little bit louder, but it's, yeah, really nice and relaxing when you're just riding along. The gearing is set up pretty much to top out at 25 k's an hour. I guess I'd be doing maybe 90 RPM cadence as I'm riding along here. But a lot of the time I'm pretty much leaving it in 7th gear here, come out of that corner, and the motor just pushes you along, does a lot of the work, heaps of torque. Yeah, when I'm coming to a stop, maybe put it in 5th gear, but because it's a hub motor, it's not a mid-drive, the motor doesn't actually make use of the gears, so all you're doing is affecting your own pedal speed. Alright, here's a good spot to do an acceleration and braking test. I'll leave it in auto mode, and I've got it in 4th gear, so not needing to do too many changes, just to get the bike off the line. Won't be a flat out sprint, just see how nicely it gets up to 25 k's an hour and then do a braking test at the end. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Torque sensor picks it up really nicely. There's 20 k's an hour already. Up. And there's 25 k's an hour. And I'll hit the line up here and hit the brakes. And probably 4.5 meters without locking up too much as well. These mechanical disc brakes have plenty of power, really nice feeling on the hand as well. Not too much friction, don't have to pull them too tight, so you get some really nice braking force out of it. Alright, let's head over this way and we'll do a hill climb test. Alright, here we are at the usual trike testing hill, I guess. In the middle there, it's about 10% gradient. I've still got the 20 kilos of load in the back, so close to the 100 kilos maximum load. I'll leave it in auto, and I've got it in 2nd gear. I don't know what the best sort of gear for this hub motor is going to be, because it doesn't really help out with the gearing, but anyway, we'll just spin up and see what happens. So yeah, I don't know if you can see my power here and then the bike's power as I hit the steep part. Power to the motor goes right up. I'm still doing 14 k's an hour, so it's holding speed really well. I'm not having to do too much except just spin my legs over. It is a little bit of effort, but if it can get up that, it can pretty much ride anywhere. Really impressed. All right. Let's head back to the trail. All right, out here on the gravel track. Pretty comfy, got the front suspension soaking up some bumps. The rear end's actually really nice. It's nice and not rattly at all over this sort of terrain. Really solid. The grips are really nice. They're sort of semi-ergo grips, a little bit wider than normal. Nice and grippy and soft. And the saddle, of course, like I said, it's super comfortable, soaking up all the bumps. And those big tyres, 2.25 inches wide, really working well. No, not expecting heaps of grip. Let's do a bit of a test. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. You're not going to be swerving too much. Like, handles really well. 20 k's an hour. Yeah, it's not slipping and sliding. I mean, the thing is, you're never going to tip the bike if your front end loses grip. Tip a trike if your front end loses grip. So you've got 3 wheels there for stability, and it's really, really good. So yeah, pretty good. And again, with the brakes, stops pretty quickly on gravel. With the 3 wheels, you just get a little bit more grip when you're braking. Alrighty, a few external shots here showing the gravel handling tests that I did. You can see how I'm leaning into the corners here, taking these pretty tight turns at speed, and just picking up the inside wheel there a little bit if you're going too quick, but these are really extreme tests. Next up, took it on the paved path to see how quickly we can go around corners. Rolling, let's start at 15 k's an hour. That's about this speed. So it's pretty cruisy. And just go left here. Easy. So one technique I found is if you're turning right, you want to push on the left side handlebar, and that makes your body lean more towards the inside of the corner. If you pull, it can make you lean over to the wrong direction. So let's go left here. Instead of pulling, I'll push on the right handlebar. Push, and that makes you lean to the inside. So that's a little bit of a tip to make these trikes handle really well. And then that tight turning circle again. All right, let's come around. All right, let's see this at 20 k's an hour. Here we go. That's 20 k's an hour. Pretty good, just a little bit of a lean. Around. I'm sure this can do 25 k's an hour around there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that doesn't feel great, but it did it. Bit sketchy. Alrighty, a little bit of a hill climb test here. This grassy section's a bit nicer for testing if I fall off. Hopefully not. Up and down's pretty easy. This bit here, number 1 rule of 4-wheel driving is never drive across a slope. So I'm leaning into here. Bit of a tricky situation, turning up the slope. I should say I would never recommend anyone do this. I'm just testing the stability, which is pretty good. Turning back and forth up the hill, you can see how much I'm leaning here. And then as I come back around, just testing turning a lot across the hill. Inside wheel picks up a little bit. So this situation here is probably the worst case. If you're not leaning into the hill and you're turning across it, you can unbalance the bike just like that. Needed to put a foot down. So yeah, make sure you're leaning into the hill. Don't really turn like this. Like I said, if you're going to come across hills like this, just head straight up or down. And this last little section here, just having a bit of fun. Found this small set of stairs that it could climb up pretty well in the lowest gear. And just zooming along the gravel, handling really nice. Really got used to the handling by this stage. And the view just from the back showing the diff working really well. If you do get that inside wheel up, it will lose a bit of traction. These are pretty extreme tests. You probably wouldn't be cornering this fast in reality. And a shot of the stairs from the back too. I mean, they're not really stairs, it's just a bumpy ramp. I did get a chance as winter turned the next day to test out the mud guards. They worked pretty well in the wet, in the rain. Heading up to the train station. Here we are, fitting easily in the elevators. This is a pretty big one, but you can see it's not taking up much room at all. It'll fit in the small elevators too. Really easy to maneuver if there's tight spaces. Rolling onto the train here. Yeah, not taking up too much room. Obviously don't park here if someone in a wheelchair wants to park there too. It will fit through the barriers as long as you don't have a camera hanging off the side. And there you go. Still raining at the other end. Let's just run through the rear cargo tray. So like I said at the start, it's got about 45 by 45 centimeters, about 200 to 250 mil high, up to the top of the rung. It's got a solid base, but it's not enclosed, so anything you put on there kind of needs to be strapped down, or at least guided by these rails. It does come standard with this insulated bag, slots right in there. Nicely lined, keep your stuff cool or warm. Another option, this is the container that we use in our Urban Arrow. It's practically swimming in here, so you can probably fit a slightly larger one, but this holds a lot of our shopping that we do on the weekends. And then finally, maybe you've got a lot of bike parts that you want to take to a swap meet or something. You can just stack them up there. There you go, strap your stuff down and take it to the swap meet. Off you go. At the start of the range test, we've got a few estimates on the head unit here. We ran in auto mode with 73 Ks of range estimated. It does depend on how hard you've been riding the last few Ks or so. First ride we did 11 Ks and used 26% battery. You can see some stats there. Second ride, another 11 Ks home and used 27% battery. And then on our third ride, we did 8 kilometers and finished with 19% battery. There are a lot of stop and starts there. Didn't want to push too much further. It's not good for the battery to go too far towards 0%. So yeah, 30 Ks of range with 81% charge. I'd estimate you'd get close to 39 Ks for my use case in auto mode. Yeah, it's fast. We were averaging over 20 Ks an hour, sitting close to the 25 K an hour limit. But it does chew a lot of batteries. So yeah, if you're going slower, you're doing less hills, less stop and start, tour mode, things like that, you're going to get a lot more range out of one charge. Just charge this first. So yeah, some final thoughts after our time with the TEBCO Pioneer. The Pioneer is really affordable, so it's priced at $3,499. There's not going to be any sticker shock if you're new to e-bikes and e-trikes. It's not a $12,000 or $15,000 European top-of-the-line trike, but the build is really solid. It's got durable components and it's really nicely put together. The components have been kept simple, and that means any regular bike shop around Australia will be able to service the Pioneer, keep you rolling really easily. The only thing that might require specialist technical knowledge is the electronic shifter. I didn't have any trouble with this in my time with the trike, but that's where TEBCO will provide technical advice to the dealer. Now you might be looking at e-trikes because you have poor balance or you've got limited strength, and this is where the bike is a really good option to consider. It took me a day or two to get used to the handling, but after that, it's super fun to ride around town, even coming from a two-wheeler background. At lower speed, it takes very little effort to get around, stay stable in everything but extreme conditions. And still it's really comfortable when you're going out on longer rides. I commuted on this 11 Ks one way, stayed at 25 Ks an hour really easily, and got me to and from work without fuss. It's pretty small even when it's unfolded, so parking and storage is super easy. You can even jump on the train with it. You're not going to take up too much space, and you can go to all different parts of Australia with the bike. And you can even, when you fold it up, put it in the back of a station wagon or an SUV and take it on further adventures. Yeah, so whether you're looking to use it on holiday or just the weekends here and there, you might even be looking at something that you can use daily. This is a really good option. It's affordable, durable, really solid. You are going to have lots of fun even if you're going at slow speeds. It's really stable. So if you're looking at a Delta style trike, this is a really good place to start. Hope you enjoyed this review of the TEBCO Pioneer. Please consider liking and subscribing to us, and stay tuned for more in the cargo trike series. See you later. Cheers.